And to start it off, I'm going to talk about one man who we haven't really talked about very much this week on this show. And his name is Josh Harris.
This is going to be awesome.
And I have to admit, I was wrong about something. Very, very, very wrong. So when Josh Harris bought the New Jersey Devils, and everybody, I remember Angelo flipping out about it. How could you buy the Devils? You own the Sixers, blah, 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 blah. You're disrespecting everybody in Philadelphia. I was like, I don't care. Doesn't matter to me. And I said it over and over again that it didn't matter to me that he owned the New Jersey Devils. And then Josh Harris Blitzer Sports Entertainment, bought the Commanders. And I said, I don't care. Doesn't matter to me. I don't think he's a bad owner. And I would be like, you know what? As far as how these new rich guys go, this is what they do. They buy stuff and they turn it around. This is how it goes. So I didn't care that he owned the Commanders. But now we have Sunday. And it hit me after the game against the Rams that the idea of seeing Josh Harris at Lincoln Financial Field celebrating the Commanders going to the Super Bowl was completely intolerable to me. It made me, the idea of it makes me want to throw up. And all of a sudden, my perspective on Josh Harris owning these teams has changed. Like, now I understand why it's bad. Up until this point, we've never really had to deal with it, right? The Devils and the Flyers not really good at the same time, didn't really matter. The Commanders weren't that good last year. But here, this year, with the Commanders being good and perhaps standing in the way from the Eagles being in the Super Bowl, I look at his face and it makes me mad. Like, all of it bothers me. And not only do I want the Eagles to go to the Super Bowl, I also, almost as much, can't stand the idea of Josh Harris getting to the Super Bowl, especially with us standing there in the way. So it never bothered me before, but today, January 22nd, 2025, I can officially say I was wrong, and I think it is actually bad that Josh Harris owns competing sports teams.
Well, Joshua Harris, this thing has always been sort of, he's so out of sight, out of mind. Like, I almost have to be reminded that he owns the Sixers. So I can't even necessarily say I'm where you're at yet. Doesn't mean I won't get there. Listen, if he's obnoxious Sunday, they happen to win this damn game Sunday somehow, and he's not, and he forgets he owns a team in this city, and he seems to be parading around.
Whooping it up.
Yeah.
Jumping up and down like
that
how he was.
That may change my perspective on this whole topic that you have right now. But I gotta be honest with you. As of right now, I'm more or less like, I don't even see Josh Harris as one of us. I just don't. He's an absentee owner. Doesn't feel like he's a part of the community here. I hadn't really heard much from him until they did a about face on the whole where the arena was going to be built at, and all of that. And he was at that press conference. Other than that, I look at Daryl Morey as the face of the, that's not a coach or a player. I look at Daryl Morey as the face of the front office of the Sixers. I don't even look at Josh Harris as anything here, really.
I'll tell you, it's not really about him. We make fun of how he talks and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
I actually think, and I know, I'll probably get killed for this, but for the three teams he owns, I think he's done right by all three teams, right? Like, when he bought the Sixers, they were not even in the public consciousness, right?
Yes.
He bought the Devils. The Devils have turned around since they bought the Devils, and the Commanders, they have. I mean, they have a lot with young
that's
talent.
My home state. Yeah, I don't even know about them.
Well, it's North Jersey. It's like not even the same.
We'll
state.
break it down with Flyers and 50 with Breads.
The Commanders, obviously,
yes.
he's never shied away from really spent money, all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
And it's not that he's a billionaire, because they're all billionaires. It's just like, I think it awoke the deep down, and I think I tried to suppress it during the process because I disagreed with so many people here about the Philadelphian in me.
Right.
This isn't an opinion I would normally have. Is like, you can't own the Sixers and also own the Commanders. Like, it just doesn't sit right with me, and it didn't really click for me until I imagined him at the link celebrating a win that got him to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, listen, and the thought of that, I agree. I could see where that would irritate me Sunday if that were to happen. But I don't know how much of that would be more me just irritated with the Eagles.
That they lost.
Yep. Than it really is Josh Harris. I got to be honest, man. He is the one owner. Well, I don't even know who the hell owns the Flyers. My bad, bros.
It's a Comcast Spectacor.
Yes, it's a group.
Yeah.
So I don't have a face to put as the owner of the Flyers. But John Middleton and Jeffrey Lurie by far are the best owners in this town, the most recognizable, the most connected with the city.
In touch
with their fan base, seems to be a part of the fan base. With Josh Harris, man, and listen, I can respect how the Sixers have turned around from where they were under the previous ownership with him as the owner. But even with that, I've never viewed him as the face of the Sixers.
The guy who did it.
Yes.
We look at Lurie as the guy who took it from Bremen, and we look at Middleton as, it was sort of the group before with the Phillies, but now we have, post David Montgomery, who was represented the owners, but we didn't have an owner to think
John
about
Middleton
with the Phillies.
Seems to have jumped out there as a guy who wants to be out there connected with his fans, and I feel like Jeffrey Lurie, with what he's done during his time here, all the community awareness, Eagles Autism Challenge, all that stuff, like, we know he's part of the fabric of the community here. I just don't get that with Josh Harris. I don't. I know he owns the Sixers, but I just don't feel like he's one of us, and I never have felt it.
Even though when they were trying to build the arena, the only thing he really cared about was rejuvenating Philadelphia.
Yes,
doing right by the city.
That was
right
a talking point.
Yes,
I got it. Yeah, that was a bullet point he had to hit.
We just thought about it this weekend.
Yes.
All right.
Most importantly, I want to thank our fans.
215-592.
I don't even want to be connected with that dude right there, man. That voice.
He's so faceless.
Yes.
Like he has no presence here. He has no presence here. But at the same time, if he's on the stage and he's making a scene,
that will become irritating. Yes,
especially when the Sixers are 15-27.
Exactly. Like, yes, worry about the team here.
Yeah, bro.
No, you're right.
Where are you when I'm doing this stupid podcast? You're celebrating about the Commanders. All right, 215-592-9494. Does it bother you that Josh Harris owns the Commanders? We do have a next question today. We've got a pair of tickets to go see Coheed and Cambria and Taking Back Sunday, August 27th at the Highmark Skyline Stage at the Man. Beautiful venue. Tickets on sale at Ticketmaster.com. Today is Guy Fieri's birthday of Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. He is 57 years old. And today's next question, you call it with a sports point, but we will ask you this, is give us your favorite sort of like trash TV show. Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives is one of those shows when you turn on cable, it's on, there's 8 in a row, you sit there and you watch it, there's not a lot of artistic value to it, but you just like it. Yeah. So your favorite trash TV show.
My favorite shows right there.
Yes, those are the best ones. Jack, you got a favorite trash TV show?
So I'm a big John Thaffer guy.
Ooh,
Bar Rescue.
Bar Rescue.
Okay.
Yes.
Bar Rescue is a great one.
That is a good one.
You consider that trash TV?
Yeah.
It's
classic.
It's good TV, but it's just like it's mindless.
Yes.
You're just watching.
No, I love it. And Taffer's always yelling at somebody, man.
Yeah.
He scares the hell out of me. He
yes.
really does.
Yeah, I don't want to be part of him.
I got to just go with the Love and Hip Hop franchise.
Oh, yeah. That's been going on for 20 years now?
Close to 15, just about. Yeah, and listen, it was kind of cool to be in on it at the beginning. I'm probably too old to be watching it now, but I'm still there.
All right, so
gotta admit, give me a good Love and Hip Hop. I don't care if it's Atlanta, Hollywood, New York. It don't even matter.
All right, so Jack has Bar Rescue. You have Love and Hip Hop. Mine is Impractical Jokers on True TV. Now, I know Jack's seen that.
Yes.
You've seen Impractical. You have not seen Impractical Jokers.
Did you know Murr's an Eagles fan?
I saw the picture of that. Was he at Dolan's?
He's at some bar.
Oh, okay.
Freaking out about the Eagles. I thought they're from New York.
What's his name? Murr?
Well,
Murr.
One of the guys is Murr. Yeah, is Murray? What's his first name? They just call him Murr.
Yeah, I just know Murr.
So essentially, it's these 4 guys. They're all buddies, and they're basically daring each other to do stuff. Like they wear an earpiece, and they send them out on the street, and the other guys tell them what they have to say.
Okay.
And they basically, if they lose if they won't say it.
Right.
Basically.
So you basically have to say something to a stranger.
Yeah, or they act like they're working somewhere, and they have to treat people terribly. I could watch watch the show for 100 years. It's always very awkward.
Right.
And it's the same formula every time, but I don't even care. To me, that's sort of like what trash TV
That's
is.
what trash TV is. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I'm envisioning that. That's cool.
It's a good show.
Yeah.
It's a good show. All right, 215-592-9494. Do you care that Josh Harris owns the Commanders?